Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the stream. First things first. Dr. Pepper, not sponsored, but if you wanted to, don't too much sugar. So I'm going to be editing some photos. I've already picked them out because it'd be boring to watch me go through the 150,000 photos I actually do have. Yes, 150,000 photos. It is too many. Hi, Dan. Yeah, I am going to talk you through what I was trying to capture and what how I'm gonna edit them, and then what are the limitations that I've probably got. 'Cause some of these are fairly old, and then there's some. So there's some from gigs. There's some from autumnal stuff that I've shot actually this morning. I got up far too early for that. So yeah, we're gonna dive right into it. Just let me know if it's streaming okay, because I have no idea. Can I do all messages? Yeah, let's get all messages on the go. So can you hear me okay? Um, is it lagging at all? Probably tons, because let's be honest, that's all it ever does. I have no idea. We'll soon find out. Hi Rachel, how are you? So you can actually, I hope you can actually hear me and see me. If not, it's tough, I suppose. Okay, so let's get into. Seems good. That's good now. Brill. Excellent. We're all okay. So let's get into the editing. So this is, I think, is this the first one? I hope it is. Otherwise, I've spoiled half of it, haven't I? Yeah, that's the first one. That's fine. So I think I've got 11 photos today. I'm going to have to go somewhat slow. So I should point out what I've done with these photos already is I've chosen them, and I've also done any kind of heavy duty stitching. So if it's a panoramic, I've stitched them together. If it's HDR, I've already stitched them together, just because they take quite a bit of time to do sometimes, depending on the size of the image, especially on my new camera, which is like 45 megapixels. So then if you've got like 10 images of that, you're talking hundreds of megapixels that you're suddenly having to try and render on your screen, and that's not fun. So I've already done them. So I think there was one image that had to be a panoramic because I'd cut off the fingers, but luckily I had a photo where I had moved it to the side, so I was able to get the fingers in. So I've just had to make them into a panoramic. So that's the only editing I've done to these so far. So this is a photo of Newton Faulkner. By all means, ask me questions as I go along. The only problem is it might be slightly delayed when I actually receive them and then answer them, but I'll do my best. Yeah, this is Newton Faulkner. This is the first time I actually photographed for Newton. I, I want to say back in like 2017, maybe 2018, 2017. I can't remember. It was a while ago. I have got a black and white version of this photo, but I'm going to see if we can get a color version I like. So the first thing you'll notice is the colors are off. But what we have on the side, on this left-hand side, I have made a load of presets that will help me, that get me a good starting point to the edit. So like, for instance, there's ones for autumn, there's one that's for teal lights, there's one for faded film kind of look, a metallic black and white film, all sorts of different looks that I can go for, that I can start from there and then work it out. Hello, Mirabella. That is a hard name to say. I am awful. Sorry. Is there an easier? I'm going to call you Mira. Don't know why. I've decided. So what we're going to do is, the OG is quite literally the original edit that I would put on most gig photos. So there we go. That's where we'll start. Now the problem we've got with these presets, I was trying to think of the word, presets, is these are actually set up for my new camera. So I got it, brill. These are set up for my new cameras. So in the profile here, they would usually go to camera flat. Basically, just gives me the flattest image I can, then I've got the most amount of leeway with the highlights and the shadows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this camera's equivalent of that, which is going to be camera neutral. Just gives you a bit more to play with when it comes to shadows usually, and a bit in the highlights. Um, so the issue I see straight away is it's too dark. We do actually have all the detail in his face. Um, so we can go two ways. We can either do it like this, and then we can make a mask around his face, or we can do it opposite way, where we can just bring that. It's going to be easy this way. Do it this way. If we, that's massive. So that's probably too big. Right, so this is what are these actually called? Adjustment brushes. See, I don't know any of the names of any of this. What camera am I using? The camera that this was shot with was a Nikon D600, which is a full frame camera, but it's a very old camera now. I bought it because when it originally came out, there was oil spots on a lot of the sensors, so a lot of people had to send them back. So they went really cheap all of a sudden. So I bought one second hand, very, and it was very cheap. It should have been like £1,500, and I got it for 500. The camera I'm now currently on is a Nikon D850, again full frame. Amazing camera. So what I'm going to do is this. Is this adjustment brush is I'm going to just paint over where the highlights are. I don't need to actually be very uh, precise with this, because what you've got down here, um, down here is the range mask. If we put it to luminosity, and then if we were to pick, say, the very much the highlights of the back of his neck, you can see now if we reset the effect and then bring this down, you can see what it's affecting. It's still affecting far too much of the image. Yes, Dang is correct, Mirabelle. It is entirely correct. So that looks okay, but I'm not going to do it with exposure. That's just my way of being able to see what I'm actually doing. I'm going to do it with the bit of the highlights. It's how far do you really want to be pushing it. Again, it looks a little bit fake when you're doing that, but that's fine. We'll just leave it there for the moment. And what we can do, crunch. Oh, that's too much of a crunch of the blacks. You can see that I'm starting to get a halo effect around it. That's usually when you're taking the blacks. So if you look at the top right of here, so you've got the is this the shadows? Is this one the shadows? Yeah, this is the shadows, and then this is the highlights. I never actually use this, but this is just a way of demonstrating it. So if you're trying to do just the blacks right over here, but not adjusting the shadows here, a little bit towards where the red and yellow are, then you can end up with banding effects. So what you need to do is bring the shadows in a little bit as well, and that helps. That's too much. That was always going to be too much, wasn't it? Maybe we're just going to get that halo effect anyway. I feel like that's too far, isn't it? Yeah, that's too far. So we'll bring it back. How did I learn to edit? It was literally trial and error on YouTube, a mixture of the two. There are some great YouTubers out there that can show you the very basics. The problem with it is it's a lot of people who will teach you how to edit have gone and picked a very specific image because they know that photo will work for what they want to show, but it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. So yeah, it can be difficult trying to learn from others, but I love it. So right, let's change what you should always do, and I never do first, is change the white balance. But I never do. So I'm looking at the skin tones, especially here, trying to get them somewhat correct. Uh, I've got a feeling that's going to be very tough to get correct. It's whether I just kind of admit that I'm not getting them. What photography YouTubers do I follow? I feel like that's something I should answer afterwards, so then you don't just leave. Uh, but the ones I follow are Peter McKinnon, like I think most people do at this point. I think uh, probably like 90% of his stuff is great. It's really useful. Um, Especially, I love the stuff that he's now doing, where it's less tutorials and more just very good pieces of film. So like he did the bucket shot. Um, what was the one recently? Oh, it's really rememberable, obviously. But no, I just really like what he does. Mattia Poi, he's um, Swedish. Swedish? Yeah, it's been Peter McKinnon. Yeah, I am onto you guys. I am definitely onto you. Do not leave. Uh, uh, Mattia Poi is a Swedish YouTuber that is in Canada and actually very good friends with Peter McKinnon. Um, I used to follow Frono's Photo, Jared Poland. I actually met him. The Dope Squad, yes, indeed, the Dope Squad. Uh, but yeah, uh, the Frono's Photo. He was good at when I started getting into photography 8 to 9 years ago. I now do not like any of. Oh, is he Finnish? Oh, is he Finnish? Sorry, yeah. Whoops. Why did I think he was Swedish? I know Finnish would make more sense. I was thinking that the great racing drivers because they've made that joke before. Yeah, but it's the Finns that are great. Um, okay, right. We should probably like edit some of this. What? Who else do I actually follow? There isn't very many YouTubers that I follow um, because I found that myself watching all of them and then not going and creating because I thought, what's the point? They're doing it 1,000 times better than I am. So this photo just works in black and white. Look at it. Already, I don't need to do anything. Right, that's that photo done. Uh, like, is there any point in me actually touching this? No, come on, let's try and make a colour version of this work. So, I've got some tricks up my sleeve, he says, as he then tries to remember what tricks he has up his sleeve. So go to the HSL sliders. Let's change the hue of these. Whoa, no, not that way. And not that way. Okay, a lot of this is going to be trial and error. If I was to, yeah, that's just absolutely rinsing them colours. Okay, so it won't go in there. What we'll do is we'll do it in calibration. Oh, Chris at Hull, yeah, yeah, he's brill. Lizzie Pierce, don't know. I did watch. There was a YouTuber that I watched recently, and it was an entire lie. That it was complete clickbait, and I can't remember. It was something ridiculous. Um, it was like 10 things you definitely should always do, and then like the first one is always carry a camera. And it's like, well, obviously I'm gonna, otherwise I don't ever get a photo. Oh, thank you, Rachel. I feel like I have a radio voice sometimes, especially when I know that I'm mic'd up to something. So going back to this, in the calibration, you can change some of it. So look, that's bringing them greens out, but it doesn't always work. Um, oh, you agree? Brilliant. I'm going to go with my radio voice. Um, no, none of this is going to work, is it? Let's be honest. Oh, okay, that's getting a little bit closer. Do I really want to 100% it though? Yeah. Oh, do I turn down the greens? No. Oh. I also have the cheapest mouse in the world, by the way, pink mouse. So anyone who tells you that you need to have the best equipment, you really don't. This was the cheapest thing that I could buy when I really wanted to play Minecraft last minute, probably about 2 years ago now, and it was just like £2 reduced. Yeah, step two was like have a lens. Honestly like the level of this person's video, and I was just like, you're not really like filling me with confidence for the next 9 or whatever it is steps that you had. Like, and it was just like I was expecting something a bit more. I don't know, just better, I suppose. Right, let's see what happens if we change this. Oh, there was somewhere in there that was just. Ooh, ooh, that's doing something for me. Don't know about anyone else. It is weird when I call you Rachel, but that's because it comes up as Rachel there. I always call you Ray, and I feel like that's a throwback when I call you Ray. So you can just see how it's slightly adjusting it. Personally, I don't actually know how calibration works, but it sometimes you can just get a different feel for the image, just the colours being adjusted ever so slightly. I say that as I've 100%ed the hue on the greens. But anyway, let's see what split toning could do for this image. Mirabelle, I'm not going to link you to the person it was because it's not fair to then take the mic because they actually have a very good following. Right, so what we need to do is turn the highlights to 100%. And then we can see, well, close to 100%, we can see what colours would work as the highlights. I feel like, I don't know, that feels like pop arty kind of, when it's like the red and blue. There. Don't know if that's just me. So let's bring it down to about 50%. Ooh, that brings out a bit of skin tone almost. Yeah. Is that too red now? Maybe, but that's fine. No, it's not. Okay. I'm not actually a fan of that. No, I don't know. I don't think. You know what? I don't think highlights are doing it for me. Um, let's see if we can get anything out of the shadows for this image. I like the way I've really tested myself on the first image, by just going. Don't know if I can make this work in color. This is probably why I just put it in black and white. No, that's not working either. So, I did kind of prefer this. It's almost pop arty the way it's going in a sort about way. That looks fun. Looks fun at least. See, what I wish they would add to split toning is that you would adjust a certain portion of the highlights, because this is just adjusting whatever it calls highlights. I've been using tone curves more. Those are fun. Yeah, the tone curves I don't like doing individually. It seems far trickier, especially if I know that there's a look that I'm looking for. So like if you wanted to do teal and orange, for example, it would be, is it this way around? And then orange, or is it the other way around? It's probably the other way around, isn't it? That might make more sense. Oh, there we go, teal and orange look, which is a very classic kind of Instagram look, isn't it? I'm not actually 100% on that, but it was somehow better than what I've already done. Let's turn this one off. That doesn't need to be on. But this one, yeah, there we go. That'll do. So the tone curve, you say, let's go in here. Let's dive in. So immediately, there's a lot of blue. Ooh, magic! It is magic. tone curve is going to be an interesting one. So can I make it? Ooh. Okay. So yeah, the problem is I don't actually have a calibrated screen. This screen here that the chat is coming up on and all the streaming software is on is different colors. So that's coming up very purpley for the whole image, whereas on the screen that I'm always using is more of a blue. Neither are calibrated, so I always have to double check on my phone to see where the middle is, just to make sure that the image isn't a million miles off what I was actually looking for. Because they all display slightly differently. Makes very little difference. Makes very little difference. Makes massive difference. Makes it very annoying though. Right, so ooh, this might be nope. So if I bring the highlights down on this, on the blue to the so they come to more towards blue. No, and then yeah, that comes down as well. That's a look. That's certainly a look. Yeah, it is very difficult when they're all different. What can I get? What's this going to affect? Very little actually in the image. I don't like the way it's actually affecting the image a whole lot. No, I don't like that. So there's probably definitely better ways of testing this. One of them was probably doing it before stream. You know what? We can also bring down there. And then greens as well. Whoosh. There we go. That's also a way of being able to bring down the extreme highlights if you're really struggling. So, yeah. Should we just chuck it in black and white and be done with it? No. I kind of like it. I'm not 100% sold on it. So we'll move on to the next image, which I think is very similar. But I do have an idea of what I want to do with this image. But what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to leave that one for now because we've been working on a very similar image for a while. Going to go to this one of Dodie. So there's a black and white version of this. Is it gonna work? Yeah, there we go. So that's the black and white version, and then actually there's another version on top of this which takes out the drum. What are they called? Them things that. How many photos do you have to edit for a client or tonight? I think I've got about 11 tonight, but for a client, it really depends what it is. Dirty lights for this was so cool. Yeah, this was during sound check. So this is the original edit, but what I want to do is I want to do a color version of this photo because I always just stuck it into black and white for no apparent reason. Well, other than it looks moody, doesn't it? Let's be honest. So yeah, this is last year. It seems weird that it was a year ago that I actually photographed gigs. Tonight I've got 11 images in total. So I just want to vary it up because I've realized that them two images are very similar. So yeah, what we're going to do is I'm going to do the global settings first because then I want to get rid of all these mic stands, but also still keep the color that is in the skirt that she's wearing, or dress, whatever she's wearing. Were you hired for this gig? Yes, I was. So I've worked with Dirty a few times. That question is dumb. It's not entirely dumb because a lot of people get to do it for free because they just go, yeah, I'll just do it for free because they're a fan of the person and they don't want to get paid. and there are times I still do that, but I try to do it less and less, you know, pre 2020, because that's an issue. So the first thing you'll see is that her hair is completely blown out in this shot. So we can recover it all, but it's how far do we want to go with that? I feel like that's probably too far. Probably about there for me. Yeah, there's still a little bit of highlights going on. But because it's so far, excuse me. Oh, I shouldn't have had, you know what? I shouldn't have had a fizzy drink. That was the mistake I've made there. So let's see. Yeah, true. Now the bottom half of this image is very dark, but I'm going to make everything darker now. So I play with the blacks, shadows, highlights, and whites far more than I do the tone curve. It's probably laziness more than, or more speed. Let's go with speed. Let's say it's speed that I'm doing it for. There, and then if I apply, no, let's do this one. So I'm going to do similar to the last image in the way of how I'm able to select just the skirt. So if I was to go, oh yeah, not even got shoes on. Right. So can I select? Yep. Select by color, and then if you drag over like the item of clothing. Now the problem is there's going to be a lot that is the same color. How do I? Was it? No. Is it Alt? No, not Alt. There we go. It is Shift, and then you can add several one of these. Why is it selecting so many? It shouldn't be selecting so many. I'm not happy with that. Yeah, perfect. Edit done. Don't need to do any more. You know what? No. Delete that. I'm just not going to be able to do that, am I? I'm going to have to do it this way. Now, can I ever get this the right way around? No. Of course I didn't. Never do. I think in the history of using, what's it called? The graduated filter, I feel like I've only ever got this right once. I always put it the wrong way around. So I now need to wait for my, oh, no. There we go. I can switch around. Where was this? This would have been, this is Manchester, because I remember it because when I was having to, so for this gig, I was between each artist. I was backstage editing the photos, so then they had them before well, not before the next person, but before the night was over, so then they could all have their photos to share. So yeah, I love being able to get it out that quickly to them, because to me that should be how it is. Right, okay. So when you've got a graduated filter, you can also get a brush from the side, and then you can, I'm going to erase. So I'm going to do a massive erasure. What a cool job. It is a cool job being able to do it. So then I can erase the graduated filter from the bits of the photo that I don't want it to affect. Talent is a strong word. I basically, I spent too much time on the computer and learn how to edit this. Probably taking that too far. You know what, I can take it all in a little bit. Take it all in, and then, so what this allows me to do, yeah, this is magic. Honestly, this is how everyone should be editing. And then I can change it back to a brush, as in the letter A. Whether you can see that or not, I don't know. So then you can just go paint back in what you wanted. But yeah, like, I was so surprised to find out that this was even a, like, because I've thought for a long time that this should be possible, and then I was like, oh man, it'd be really cool if someone could just like invent it. And then I watched a video and someone was like, yeah, they've already done it. I was like, cool. Saves me the effort of having to do it. Right, so there we go. So what we could do is I can show you the before and after of that. So you can see it just brings, oh, it's probably a bit too far, isn't it? To edit the photo before the end of the gig. How long did it take? This one, they got a very basic version of it where it still had the mic stands in that in the background. So Dodie finished her last song, and about, I think it's about 5 minutes after that, I delivered the photos to them. All the photos that I wanted to give them at that point, like enough that they could post about it. So we can see what that now does. It just makes the dress. I keep calling it a dress. I think it's because it's long. There we go. Pops a little bit. So now, what do we need to do? We need to work out what crop we want. So as this would be for Instagram, we're going to go for a 4x5 because that's the tallest portrait you can get for an Instagram photo. How many photos did I do? For Dodie, I think it was around, I think it was about 20, 25 that I gave for Dodie, for her set. For Orla, and then I can't remember who the other one was for this one. Oh, I can picture them because it was a guy that was really tall. And they were banned. Oh, what were they called? But yeah, they don't get as many photos. And those are probably actually pants. You know what? Yeah, as it's Dodie, it probably is. That would make sense. Yeah, I edit really quickly. Like, there's certain things like I wouldn't be doing all of this kind of. That's why they got a version that was. So let's just crop this in, and then I can think about that. So I think we're going to go with there. So they basically got a version that was similar to that, probably a bit more contrasty. Just because editing out all these mic stands and the drum box thing out the background would have taken quite a bit of time. That wasn't entirely necessary. I've only done that because I really wanted to after the fact. So yeah, I edit really quickly, but like, you typically are only photographing the first 3 songs of any artist, unless you're actually working for them. So I've got used to getting enough stuff within 3 songs. So what I now would do, I can't this year obviously, I'd photograph the first 3 songs from the pit, try and get some crowd shots from there, get some of the artists as they're coming on, and then I would also get on stage for a couple of songs after that and get some different photos, which I did actually get. But as I've posted them fairly recently, I wasn't going to edit them again. So I'm not entirely sure about the lights being cut off so early. So I'm going to just take it out a little bit. There we go, that's fine. So we need to now Photoshop these out, which won't be too difficult. So that's that bit. And then this bit, we which is just, so what it does is it picks a different spot to then, you know what, take it from here, to try and copy over there. Well, actually, it's healing. I've got it on the healing setting on the right hand side, if you can see that. That's fairly close. Sounds fun. Whereabouts are you based? Because one of the things I do want to do is have photos of me at gigs, because I never get them, because I'm always photographing. But I actually do want to do like a mini kind of video about what it's like to go around photographing an artist. But you know, that was my plan for this year, and then things might have gone a bit out of hand. Oh, what have I done there? I've moved something. So just Control Z it. So let's take this one out. Canada, a little bit far. It's a bit of a commute for us all. What was that going to do? You should do it. Ray, you are not coming round with me. Like, we both know that things would go missing. That makes it sound like you rob. No, she just how's that kind of thing about him. Overly mean to my friends, aren't I? Oh, come on. There. Trying to line this up. We'd have a lovely time. We'd have a stressful time, is what I think would happen. It's not the greatest edit, this, is it? There we go. Can you tell what it is yet? If anyone remembers that, that's oh, you're getting brave. I am getting brave. Let's do. There we go. So you can see it's just taken out there. Ooh, that's not actually lined up properly, Tom. The wrong way. It's not that we don't work well together, we just have very different ways of working. Especially, like, I've only ever photographed a gig non-collaboratively. So it would be very weird to suddenly have someone on board, shall we say. Like, I've only ever gone and photographed the gig for the artist, never like with someone else on board. That'll do. So let's see where we were beforehand. So you can see what we've taken out. It's not like the world's best, but it'll do for now. Let's see, can I get rid of this shining monstrosity? Where's it gonna pick? Why would it pick there? Of all the places it could pick in the world, it picks like. Sometimes this is really intelligent, like, and it works out a really good thing to select. And then there's other times where it's just utter rubbish. It'd be a lovely sidekick. I think you'd get a kick in the side. That's really funny, Tom. It's not though, is it? Right. The thing is, in black and white, this is well easier because you could just make light exist in black and white. That makes me sound like a sorcerer. Kind of am. I think this is why I never did it in call. Yeah, this is probably why I didn't. Let's have a look at that whole image. How can I Photoshop that out? You basically are a sorcerer. I'm really not. While I'm thinking about how to do that one on the right, let's do this one on the left. There we go. See, that worked perfectly. I didn't even have to do anything, and it just selected the right bit. Perfect. Boom. Don't have to think about it then. And this, boom. That'll just select to the right again. Perfect. Boom. I'm going to leave them bulbs in the background for now. So it's going to be. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go about this a little bit of a different way. So make a new brush. Going to take it all the way down. Ooh, that's. Oh. Yeah, okay. And then this side. Is that too obvious? It probably is. Is that too obvious that I've just taken them out? I feel like it works. Does it only not work because you can see what I'm doing? Okay, we're done with that. I think the rest of the image is good. I'm not going to spend time trying to get rid of this on the right hand side because I could be here a long time. Let's move on to the next image because I've realized I've been live for like 40 minutes plus at this point. Oh, thank you, Rachel. So this is Joel Corry. He was supporting It's Scala at the beginning of the year. This is in London Roundhouse. So I've not actually edited these photos at any point. No particular reason. Right. Okay. You know what? I've realised I'm not even in full screen mode, am I? Naughty me. Naughty me. That's only so you don't have to see the bottom of it. There we go. Right. I'm on my phone. It's a little hard to tell. Yeah, it will be. Okay, so this is Joel Corry. So I know that this is shot on my new camera. So the camera profile is camera flat. Is that when I came to see you? I did see you at some. Was that then? Yes, I will have seen you. Yeah, when we went to Starbucks. So yeah, this is camera flat, so it gives me a lot more information. You can see if you go to Adobe Color, suddenly the shadows are kind of just get crushed completely. So let's see what we've got as recoverable in this image. I think straight away it's going to be black and white. So if we pump that up as much as we dare, that's already pushing it. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of this photo now. So let's go on to the next one. I'm not a huge fan of that one. Whoa. This is Joel Corry, as you can tell by the fact that he's got his name behind him. Yeah, this will be a bit easy. This not easier, but actually doable. So I think he's wearing a white top. Nope. He is certainly not. Or at least that's what I want you to believe. There we go. Oh, maybe it's pink. Maybe it was pink. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So we're getting a bit of the skin tones coming through there. That's I don't know why Lightroom does that. So go like that. Just crop in a little bit. And what we're going to do is that bottle of water is going to do my nut in. It's sitting there. So ba 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 ba. Just going to get rid of said water bottle. Ooh. If I go clone. Oh, no. Okay. Did I select far too much? I probably did, yeah. Could select less. Let's get the feather in. There we go. I mean, it's definitely not perfect. Is that because it's on? No, that is on. Oh. I'm not going to open Photoshop because that's a whole thing of having to do that. So we'll just leave that there. What we can do is we can slap on. Oh, actually, teal lights might work. Oh no, that plays havoc with everything else. So I'll just put OG on, and then turn that down a little bit. Bring that up a little bit. Punch that in a little bit. Punch that in. Boom. That'll do. That will do. We'll go on to the next one. This is Maddie. This is the panoramic where I'd cut off the fingers, so I'd had to stitch two images together where the facial expression I preferred this one, so I had to stitch the fingers from the other photo onto this one, which is why it's already got its own crop, but other than that, it hasn't been edited yet. So let's see, I think one of these is going to work. This actually could work as autumn 1 and 2 already work perfectly. Do I want? Oof, that's a lot of mood to it. Let's go with that for now, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tone curve for once. What was what? What's that for? What's the ouch for? Right. So, ooh, what have I done here? Oh, there we go. Just wondered why it was a completely different look to it. Okay. So, doing a classic S curve. But what we're going to do is we're going to then bring up the, there we go, maybe not that far. It's pushing it, isn't it? That's okay. I need to bring up the exposure. It's a little bit on the darker side of life. And highlights just need to be brought back a touch. Stitching her fingers on. Yeah, yeah. I literally had cut them off like here. So it was like, it was easy enough. It's just two images. And luckily it didn't pick the other face, it picked this one. Like, it's just a case of it's a mistimed photo, so like it's like a half blink, half smile, and all the rest of it that you, isn't what you're wanting. So now I'm going to edit the eyes. Let's not zoom in that far. That's it's unkind probably to zoom in on someone, because again this is now at 45 megapixels, so her eyes have got all the detail in. So what was I going to do? Yeah, we're going to do. I actually have one now. My teeth, my eyes. That makes it sound like I've got really bad teeth. No, everyone has slightly yellow teeth, but as you can see, I make it quite punchy with the colours, so I don't want it to for the teeth to go even more yellow than they have to. Right, okay, so brush size can go, yeah, there we go. Okay, so the yeah, so we have the issue that because I have brown eyes, I'm trying to make them brown here, so I need to take them towards the blue there. Actually, there's a much better way of doing that, isn't there? Not that far, that much, and then like that. That's making it look alien eyes. This is the problem when you Photoshop the eyes too much. It's what's the right level. So I think probably bring back on that, and then we can go with these again. Okay. So that's probably where I would want that photo at the moment. Yeah, I think that's good, solid image. And that because that I have all the different so I've got like autumn 1 and 2, and then I've got spring, summer, winter. I can make it look however I want it every single time. I could use this for all 4 seasons if I wanted. I'm not going to, don't worry. So these are ones that I've taken this morning. So these are ones that I'm trying to make look as autumnal as possible. As you can see, there are so many leaves already on the floor. There's some yellow in the tree above. But we're going to give it a helping hand with Autumn 2. Autumn 2 is a preset that I made that just makes everything that much more autumnal. Are these yeah, these are my own presets. I am thinking of making them available, but there's some that I need to probably tweak a little bit because they only really work for the kind of stuff that I photograph, which won't always help everyone else. So I need to make them more universal in that sense. Like my music stuff, like the OG, Bold is Beautiful, Teal Lights, Faded Film, Black and White, Faded Black and White, Mute, all for are all for like gig kind of environments, so they won't work for a lot of other stuff. I love autumn. This is why I really wanted to edit these like this and just make them pop a little bit more. So probably just going to bring them up there. I kind of like the framing, it's not bad. We'll just try and power through some of these because I am aware that this is now an hour. Wait for the next image. Yep. Yeah, okay, so again, another autumnal one. I'm really liking using other things as frames at the moment. So again, the presets are a preset, like it just helps you get a lot closer very quickly. So like you're going from that image to there with one click. It's done a load of little things that I could have done myself. Yes, you will have to rewatch Dan. But carry on watching because I'm only about halfway through. So it's going to make it a little bit brighter. I'm not entirely sure that that is even straight, but there we go. That's probably about as straight as. Now, I don't mean straight as in that the line needs to match up with the back of the bench, because that's not how it would be with perspective. It would be slightly like that, because the as we look at it, the right hand side would be slightly closer to us than the left. So yeah, anyway, basically that's how it should look. There we go. That looks better. I like the way I'm pressing 1. These have all been, so I rate every photo as 1 when I'm going to edit it, and when I've edited it, so then I know that that's what I want to use. Next. These are all taken at my local park, which is miles drive away. Not, it's 2 miles. Yeah, 2 miles from me to this park. So it's a little baby swan. It's not a baby. It's massive. They hear it, aren't they? I kind of like the autumnal look again. These are all taken in autumnal weather. So the problem is the water looks gross. So we're gonna have to resolve that issue in a minute. Let's have a look. So I know what I'm going to do immediately with the crop is go to a, where's it gone? 16:9 crop. Can I crop out that top bit? These are all taken at 45 megapixels, so me cropping in ain't gonna really lose a whole lot. There we go. Then you get to see the swan. I'll zoom in. Look at that. All the details there still. What we need to do though is change that water. So we'll go to HSL slider and we will see what color it says it is. So that's an issue. It's an orange. How's going to be the best way to go about this? Because I can't just take it out. Because even that doesn't look right. Luminance? Sorry, it's not orange, it's yellow, isn't it? But even so, that's not great. Have you got any more questions? It doesn't have to be related to these photos either, by the way. Autumn is definitely the best time to take photos of the outdoors, I think. It's just the most interest, isn't it? So, how was I going to go about this? There was a way that I had in my head then. Yeah, do it again like this. So, we'll go massive with the brush. We'll paint in here. Let's start with just here because I can always paint the rest of it in a minute. So, reset the effect. Take that down. And then, so that just, how was my day? My day's been alright. I've been off today, so it's been alright. Not done a lot. So what I'm gonna do, 1 second. I've just remembered someone asked me to send them the link that I was going live with. So my day's been alright. I've been off today. I'm off tomorrow, so I think, hoping it rains tomorrow because there's a video idea I need rain for. So I'm really hoping that I can have it raining, which makes it sound really bad. So yeah, the way I'm going about this, I've put the exposure down just so I can see what's being affected, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the range mask again. How do I go about how much to? So I really struggle with what to charge clients for many reasons. Because if you put it into hours, I would be charging a lot. So I feel like I have to justify it somehow. Because not everyone understands how many hours would go into photo or video editing. So for me, I've worked out what my day rate is. And this is to help with actually from my brother, who is a creative and has a full-time job in it. and has done many a freelance job. And he was basically saying that I just need to come up with not an hourly rate, but a day rate, and then work out what a day would actually equate to. So then, say you go with a full day's work is a full day's photo editing or photo shooting day is 8 hours. Um, for example, that you would go, I'm going to charge them for one day's rate, which say would be £300. Um, you can then go, okay, this job for taking photos, editing, and delivering, and then any changes that you need to do would take 3 days. Then you're charging £900. Um, so yeah, that's how I would work it out. Is work out what you feel like is a good amount to be charging for your day rate. Um, so then you can kind of go, okay, like so for instance, I think about it, how many jobs could I get done in a day? So like if it was possible, I could probably shoot 4 or 5 full gigs in a day, um, and have all the photos edited and sent out. So that's what I'd have to equate it to. And also it's like if you've got an event that you're photographing for, so say it's just a nondescript event that is going to last 3 hours in the evening, it's not just them 3 hours that you need to charge for, it's the lead up of getting there and knowing where you need to be, and also the time that you've already spent actually arranging this. The lead up of getting there, possibly not being able to take another job that day, because say if it's at prime time, so for me, in the evening is prime time, so I need to charge as much as possible. Um, if it's for an evening, because I can't then do another typical job for me, like unless it was like a portrait shoot that I was doing as well, or possibly doing that day, I couldn't do it that day. Whereas I could, I can actually just change back to my camera for a minute. I can, like, so if it takes up a part of the day, it means you can't then do another job, then you have to charge for the full day. Um, Hi Nick. Talking about how to charge for clients. For me, it's a case of working out a day rate and then working out what you can actually fit in a day. Um, yes, yeah, what charging clients. So I think it can be difficult, especially when you start out, because for me, there's always a period whenever you start anything, any kind of hobbies, that you feel like you're not very good at it because you're not very good at it. Then you start to improve, so you feel like you're really good at it, but you're actually not. And then you suddenly realize you're not very good at it, and you're still learning. And then you find it very. Then you get to that stage, and you're like, I now don't know how to charge for this because people are now asking me. Pardon me. Oh, I should not have had a Dr Pepper. Not sponsored. Wish they were. Um. So going back to this image. So what I'm going to use is I've drawn a adjustment layer or adjustment mask over where the water is, the main bit of water. I'm going to do the rest in a minute, but I just want to check that this works. I'm going to use the range mask to go with, I think it's going to have to be luminosity for this one, um, and then go like that. Did that do anything? That didn't look like it did anything. No, no, that's not doing anything, is it? So, ooh, there we go. There we go. It's starting to come out. Oh, that's rough. Um, thanks for yeah, like I think it's because it's something that I've struggled with myself for so long that I totally understand that it's not an easy thing to work out how to charge. So I'm not actually changing the brightness of the water. I want to change the color. Um, so you do that with yo. But what do I want it to go to? Oh, you're on my face, aren't you? I've completely forgotten to change it back. There we go. I like the way I'm still talking. No one even like your screen's still gone. I like the way the one time I change it. All right, so yeah, I've got the water selected. I'm now trying to edit the water. We're all caught up now. Thanks. So Oh, so embarrassing. Um, so how am I gonna? This is this is fine. We'll just stay on your face. Shut up! I've changed it already. You just can't see yet. I promise. I promise I've changed. Um, I'm not going to use the fine adjustment. I don't think that works very well for me. Um, can I get it to blue water? Is blue too far? Um, I mean, it does it. Not very good. Then we've got the swan that's now blue. Oh no, this is all just a nightmare of a situation. It's not really. Right. So, why are you selecting stuff? There we go. Right. Let's see if it can do it in between these. Oh, it does. Look, so it's only affecting the part of the image that is the brightest. So it's not getting all the leaves. It's just now getting, because the leaves and the water are similar shades of color. So make it purple. Make it purple. Why? Why do you want me to make it purple? You want me to ruin it? So you can see how it then makes it look like you've been able to get just all that water quite easily. I've probably gone too far with the water, haven't I, really? I just didn't like that it was so murky. Should I just go like full on like orange? Hi, Kevin. How are you? Um, that's probably too far. Is what we always say. Kevin! So I feel like that's closer to where I wanted it. So we can look at the before and after. Worlds apart. Great. Cool. So let's change that back there. Is there another image? Did I take another image? Oh, it's another very similar image. So what we can do is I'm going to massively cheat here. Oh yeah, there's two more. Okay, brilliant. I know what images. And then we've got to go. We've got to circle back to one of Newton Faulkner. So don't worry, guys. We're going to be on for some amount of time. Right. So if we go to sync, check all, and then turn off the local adjustment brushes and the crop, and transform's not going to be affected anyway. Yeah, they're all okay. So synchronize them because they're going to basically give it the exact same look, but without the adjustment brushes up on there. So we then have this image that I think works very well, except for the whatever that is, hazard box of some sort. There's basically probably a lifeline for someone who falls into the 2 foot of water. Right. Okay. So, what do I want to do differently here that I didn't do before? What I could look at doing is, what do you think I should do actually? I've never been good at photo editing. You know what? Neither have I, Kevin. So if you're trying to learn, I'm sorry. Uh, joke. I should be okay. I should be, you know what? I should be better than okay, shouldn't I? Really. So I'm going to see if I can make this an Instagram worthy post, which is questionable. The way you have to do for Instagram, the best photos are a 4:5 aspect ratio, so they are the longest portrait that they will allow you to put on Instagram. So it takes up the entire screen when someone's scrolling, and it means that people are more likely to engage with you. So this is all done within Lightroom. For those that don't know, I'm not going to be jumping into Photoshop just because that's going to be quite a lot for my computer to be handling, and it might start to go a little bit slow if we've got this Photoshop and OBS open. Oh, thank you very much. That is very kind of you to say. All right, let's get rid of this box because that's just a distraction that doesn't need to be there. So the way I look at photoshopping or editing or taking anything in or out of a photo is, as long as it doesn't change the narrative or the story that the photo has, that it's okay. Like, say for instance, um, say if I have really bad skin, if I Photoshop it to an extent that you can still tell that I don't have great skin, but it just makes it look a little bit more presentable for a 45 megapixel camera, then it's okay. But if I was to make it so I had completely smooth skin, not okay. So me editing that out is fine because I just feel like it's a little bit of a distraction and it doesn't take away from the overall image. Right, so there's too many reds in this image for one reason or another. So let's go to the HSL slider, the hue, saturation, and luminance sliders. So it's going to be, is it a red? Nope. Is it an orange? No. What on earth is it? Oh, if I just, yeah, there we go. What is it? Oh, it is. It is an, it's yellow. Yellow and a teensy wincy bit of green, apparently. So if we were to bring, why is it gone all the way down? Ooh, my computer's not liking this now. It's probably because I'm clicking too quickly. Because as I said before, I edit very quickly. Generally, for a gig, I get the photos to the client just after the end of the gig. Really, usually depends on who it is. So if it's probably easier when it's a solo artist because you only have to concentrate on getting good photos of them delivered. Thank you very much, Mirabelle. See you soon. Thank you for joining. Right. So let's take. Ooh, that's too moody, isn't it? That's too far. That's too much. So is it blues that have been affected by the water? Blues that are affected by the water, probably a bit of aqua there as well. So then if I was to take yellows and a bit of greenerage up. How do you think I should edit this photo, by the way, people? Because I'm just doing whatever I think is best, and that doesn't mean anything anymore. Ooh, that's a choice, isn't it? Mm, is that, yeah, that's probably more presentable, isn't it? As water. Okay, let's go with that for now, and then if I go with a big radial filter. How is everyone else's day been, by the way? I've been asked how my day was. How was your day? Boosh. Let's put that there. That's probably a bit too far. There we go. So what this is doing, is just taking away. I'm not actually sold on that. Not entirely sold on that. Let's bring it back down. Let's crush them blocks a little bit. And then open the shadows. Yeah, that works. Okay, let's do that. I have no idea what the delay is like on this, by the way. For all I know is you guys are about 20 minutes behind me. And I'm just answering questions from 20 minutes ago. Which I'm fine with, but it's going to be very confusing for you when I just go, oh yeah, and don't really actually acknowledge what was said. Okay, I think we're going to leave that one there. I do like that. You know what? Getting you out of the photo. You don't need to be in there, you little fella. You're just a little bit of a distraction for me. My day's been okay. Glad it's Friday tomorrow. Yes, that is a good point for most people that work during the week. I'm off tomorrow as well. I'm actually off all of next week, so that's going to be fun. There we go. Boom, gone. Doesn't exist anymore. Don't know what you're on about. It was never there to begin with. Next one. Same park. These two people walking their dog. Love a dog, so I always chase people with a dog. So let's go with Autumn 2.0, which is my new one that I've just made, and it's going to be out. It's not going to be out anytime soon. Let's be honest. I don't have the kind of following for people to actually purchase presets. I am thinking of making them available for download for mobile though, because that would be fun for people to be able to edit their photos in the same way. So as you can see, this doesn't actually get far. Bye birdie, yeah, bye birdie. I love the fact that it's so easy to in they've made it much easier in Lightroom. There's a shortcut that I can never remember. I saw it the other day. Someone there was a video. What's his name? James. For people who are wanting to follow, let me have a look for him because he's actually really good. For my week off, I haven't got any I've not got any solid plans. I think possibly go not travel, but like go somewhere and photograph. Like somewhere somewhere that means having to stay somewhere afterwards. So don't know. Might go to Lake District for a day or two, as you do. Doesn't everyone? Just trying to find. Oh, I also follow Thomas Heaton. He's a really good UK photographer. He does a lot of landscapes. A lot of what I've learned about landscape photography is from him. He's really good, and it's very chilled out kind of style that I kind of enjoy. Who was the other one? There's Kai Wong that was from Digital Rev TV. I like his kind of no nonsense kind of attitude towards stuff, and he doesn't have like an affiliation really to a brand. Like, what was his name? He called himself that Nikon guy. He had to rebrand because he realized that was such a bad name when he's trying to get camera companies to send him a camera to review. But no, there's another guy that I really love. Whether you're into photography or any kind of art, Jamie Windsor. I'll tell you something. So like he has like room tips that I learned certain things from. He's got what are the videos? There's some really good ones. They're just like the Instagram problem for photographers, and it was really good. It's just like there's some like social kind of observations that he's made that's just really clever. So let me see what else was. He said, "Is Peter McKinnon wrong?" Kind of. Are these photographer cheaters? And he was the one that kind of was able to put into a nice kind of video the opinion that I've had, but I didn't know how to articulate it at the time. But it's basically if it changes the narrative, then you've probably photoshopped too much. So, for instance, in this photo, I do not like the fact that you've got this very bright bit that is clearly just buildings, because this is just in my local park, and that's literally a main road right there. So I'm going to try and see if I can just Photoshop it out. as I say that you should never Photoshop anything out, because that's horrendous. Why would you do that? That kind of works. I mean, it works at a distance, and that's the distance that people are going to be looking at it. Um, that was easy enough. Let's see, can I make this one work as well? Make it work, get it. That doesn't work as well. So if I was just to go like that, plonk it up there. It's not horrendous. Like, how far do I want to go with this? Do I want to Photoshop this entire building out in Lightroom only? This is the thing, because I'm not jumping into Photoshop. So fine, doing it. Oh, come on. Let's just take this whole thing out. Let's see what it does. And it always picks a random bit when it doesn't know what to do. Why is it going with, let's make them really... I mean, that's not awful, but the problem is I've selected it right above, so it's really obvious that it's just that bit copied. So if we go to heal now and try, nope, the heal brush does not work, so we're going to have to clone it, aren't we, guys? It actually works, only because it's so zoomed in. Like, when you look at, like, you can see here what we're selecting and how much of the images around it is still available. That works to me. Don't know about you. Anyone else? Does anyone think that that's awful? Sure, I've not done that. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of these windows while we're here. Only because they're really blowing out the highlights, and that's just unnecessary. Unnecessary distractions for the eye. I love the way it's like I know what I'm on about. Ooh, let's go with heal. I like the heal brush works better a lot of the time. Okay. Let's select there. So for future streams, what would people like to see? Don't say games, because when I did the poll, it was literally every single person said at least some photo editing, and then there's only one person that said only games. There we go. I think I'm going to leave that image there, and we're going to go back. Yeah, you can't notice when you zoomed all the way out. That's the thing. As soon as you zoom out, especially when you think, I'm even looking on this on a laptop screen, fairly, I think it's 15 or 16-inch laptop screen, so it's a fairly big one. So like, if I can't see it on there, someone's definitely not going to see it on their phone. So it's fine. Go back to, this is one of the other photos of Newton Faulkner that I photographed for several times. This back for the first time that I photographed him in, where would this been? This would have been, Manchester? It's Manchester or Liverpool, one or two. So I think this one is going to be black and white, because it's screaming for it. But first of all, this is on the old camera, so I'm going to have to go to the camera profile that's called camera neutral. That's just the flattest one that the camera can do. So if I was to go back to, if you go back to standard, you can see that you're just losing some of the details in the shadows, and you would in the highlights as well. So it's best just to go with the flattest profile you can, so then you're already working with the most amount of information in the photo that you can have presented to you on the screen. So I think, yeah, this is going to be black and white. I'm feeling like it's going to be that one. I feel like that was, it's not far off already, is it? So like that, and then that's certainly a look. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. So you got the before. Oh, I love the way it does that. Oh, that's the before edit that I once had. So that's the when I edited it probably 2 or 3 years ago. Why did I ever give stuff like a bronzy kind of brown look? It's definitely clearly better as a bluey kind of tinge to it. So like these aren't actually true black and whites because they've got split toning on. So if I turn the split toning on, that's what black and white would look like. But I just put a little bit of blue in there, just because I think that looks a little bit better. I don't know why. I also imagine these printed on big metal sheets, just because that would be fun. Right, do we have any more? Or was that all of them? So I didn't edit that one. Do I feel like no? You know what? Bye. That one can go. My laptop's struggling now. It's like it's wearing away, and it's very warm. But that is because I'm asking it to do a lot here. Okay, so that's the first one I edited. Wow. Okay, there we go. Now it's loaded properly. So you can see that that's funky colours. I kind of just went with it on that one. Then you've got the next one of Sam. Again, went with black and white. Feel like it really works in black and white now. I've been able to actually retain. That's the word I'm looking for. Retain. I was like, retrain's not the right word. That's a word I've heard a lot of recently because artists have to retrain. So now I've been able to retain the shadows in his face there a little bit more than before, just because I've learned how to do it. Uh, Thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon. Um, have a great day, by the way. So yeah, I think that one's good. Then you've got Dodie. Dodie. Let's see. You know what? Let's give this a whirl very quickly. Let's see if I can work out how to do it. Just had an idea as it's come to me there. Oh, it's not liking me doing that. There we go. No. There we go. That's the size of the brush I wanted. Where can I take this from? I mean, it's not a million miles away, but if I just plonk it here. Trying to just get rid of that thing. It's a little bit distracting. I've just used the arrow keys to try and move that slightly without having to be too precise. No, you know what? I'm not actually going to spend the time doing that one. I remember when I did this in black and white, it took me a while in black and white, so it'll take me even longer in color. But yeah, I'll do that off camera. So that's Dodie during sound check. Then then you've got, as it were, around. Ooh, it's taking its time, isn't it? I think it is because it's got to an hour and a half of streaming now. Joel Corey. Yeah. Oh, actually, does that work? Is that supposed to work? I have no idea. Oh, there we go. So now you can see this is Maddie. It's great. Oh, it's still, you know what? That hasn't even rendered the image properly. It's really, oh, yeah, that's not even like, it's struggling. And these are smart previews that I've got on here. So it's supposed to be faster. It is, but when you're streaming and editing and also recording the video locally, yeah, it's asking a lot. I'm gonna go off that camera for a minute. There we go. Right. Thought I'd save you having to look at that broken camera for a minute. There we go. So if we were to go back onto editing, OBS is not liking this now. There we go. Right, so you've got Maddie. Please don't zoom in on that. What I've just selected, and then it zooms in. Right, so we've got Maddie. Then we've got the old man. Then we got, what else we got? Can anyone remember what was next? It was something autumnal, wasn't it? I regret trying to go through them all now. Never a good option, was it? Oh, silly me. Oh, it's the bench. Bench, then you saw the swan, and then we go for swan number 2 when it goes there. But yeah, if you've got any ideas or suggestions of what I can do in my next video, please let me know, because I am clueless. There we go. There we go. Okay, but yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there because I'm really asking a lot from my computer. Oh dear me. I've absolutely rinsed it now. It was loud. Right. I will see you all soon. Hopefully me clicking that button will close it. No idea. No idea if I finished the stream.